Welcome to another deep dive. This time, it's all about carbon offsets.
With a digital twist.
Exactly, a digital twist. We're diving into how XGC Software Inc., a company that's, well, they're known for software solutions. They're proposing something pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Using blockchain to streamline how we buy and sell carbon offsets. But more importantly,
Make it more transparent.
that's the key, transparency. We've got two of their documents, inventory conversion and tokenization, which, I'll be honest, gets a little technical in places.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then there's tokenized carbon credits requirements, which lays out their vision, their big picture.
It's ambitious.
It is. And we're going to break it all down. I mean, we're talking about turning something like restoring a mangrove forest.
Into a tradable digital asset.
You got it. So how do they actually connect real-world environmental projects, like you said, mangrove restoration, to something digital?
Well, imagine a company plants thousands of mangrove trees, let's say in Indonesia, to capture CO2.
Right, a classic carbon offset project.
Exactly. XGC wants to use what's called geospatial data, GSI, to capture the carbon-absorbing power of that project.
So like a satellite snapshot of those mangroves and then turning that into data.
Precisely. And SGC wants to use its existing enterprise resource planning software, XGPRP, to calculate exactly how many carbon offset units that mangrove forest represents. Each unit would represent a specific amount of CO2 removed from the atmosphere.
Okay, I'm following. We go from trees to data to these carbon offset units. But how do those units become something you can buy and sell?
Ah, that's where tokenization comes in.
Yeah.
XGC wants to assign each unit a unique serial number and attach metadata to it. This metadata, think of it as like the project ID card.
Okay, so info about the project, location, certifications, all that.
Exactly. It's giving each unit its own digital fingerprint.
So we're basically creating a digital inventory of carbon offsets, each one linked back to a specific project and a specific amount of CO2 captured.
You got it. And to make things even more, I guess you could say, familiar,
Familiar? How so?
they want to store this inventory on AWS. You know, Amazon's cloud platform.
Right, AWS. So they're not building everything from scratch. They're using tech that people already trust. It makes sense, for security and reliability. But we're still talking about digital units here. How do these actually become something that someone like you or I could buy?
That's where the magic of blockchain comes in. XGC is planning on converting these units into digital tokens on a blockchain.
Okay, blockchain. I'm vaguely familiar with the concept, but...
They actually want to use two different types of blockchains. Ethereum, which is public,
Public.
and Hyperledger Fabric, which is private.
Okay, wait, two blockchains? Why two? Isn't that making it more complicated?
It might seem that way, but each blockchain has a specific purpose. Ethereum, because it's public, would be used for the actual buying and selling of the carbon offset tokens. This way, all the transactions are transparent.
Anyone can see them.
Anyone. That's the beauty of a public blockchain. It makes the whole process more trustworthy.
No more shady backroom deals. Got it. But what about that private blockchain?
Right. So Hyperledger Fabric, being private, would be for managing more sensitive data. Things like project certifications, audits, the internal information.
So it's kind of like a two-pronged approach.
You could say that.
Public for the trading, so everyone sees what's going on, but then private for the behind-the-scenes information, the stuff that needs extra security.
Exactly. Companies and regulators, they want that extra layer of control.
Okay, I'm starting to get how this could work, but let's get practical here. I'm a small business owner. I want to buy some of these carbon offset tokens to, offset my company's emissions.
Right.
Do I need to become some kind of blockchain expert to do this?
Not at all. XGC really emphasizes having a user-friendly interface. They even mention using things like Flutter or React,
Yeah.
these frameworks that are known for being, easy to use.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those. So I'm picturing like browsing a selection of projects.
Verified projects, all the data laid out clearly, and then you could just buy credits with a few clicks. That's their vision anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds way less intimidating than I thought. But what about security? Like, how do they make sure these tokens can't be hacked or stolen?
Security is huge, and they outline a bunch of measures in their documentation. Like they're planning to use AWS Key Management Service for encrypting private keys. That adds a lot of protection.
Okay, so strong encryption to protect those digital assets. Makes sense. But I'm still curious about the actual buying and selling. What does that process look like? I mean, is it different from how carbon offsets are traded now?
Absolutely. They're proposing a whole marketplace where buyers and sellers can connect and trade these tokens.
Wow, so like a stock exchange, but for carbon offsets.
Pretty much. But wouldn't that add a lot of complexity, you're probably thinking? And how would someone navigate that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's where that user-friendly interface comes back in. They even talk about using AI and machine learning to help users make smart decisions about what to buy and sell.
So it's not just, here's the blockchain, good luck. They're trying to guide people through it. But let's be real, blockchain is still pretty new. Not everyone's going to be comfortable jumping in right away.
Oh, absolutely. And XGC knows that. They talk about creating easy-to-understand guides, tutorials, maybe even workshops to teach people the basics.
Okay, so they're not just building a platform, they're building a whole ecosystem of knowledge and support around it. But I guess the big question is, how does all of this connect back to the fight against climate change?
That's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm hooked. We went from mangrove forests to digital tokens, and now we're talking about a potential revolution in the carbon market. I can't wait to see where this goes next.